very good morning from Dublin Airport. My name is Stephen O'Reilly. I'm the captain today on flight 482 to Lisbon in Portugal. With me today is my colleague, First Officer Emily Donoghue. Very shortly now we're going to take a seat and start our pre-flight planning for our flight to Lisbon, and we'd like to extend a very warm welcome to our viewers at justplane.com. So it looks like a busy flight today. We've 174 guests joining us today. Flight time 2 hours and 20 minutes. A very generous fuel load of 12.7 today.
Yeah, so we have an extra 1 hour and 21 minutes.
That's exactly it. And I think the weather today down in Lisbon is a little bit unsettled. Generally the weather will be good, but there is a temporary for a little bit of gusts, showers of rain, cumulonimbus and heavy thunderstorms with hail. So we'll keep an eye on that and monitor that as we're going down, and let's have a look at the weather picture, what's causing that. As you can see here, what's this one? Flight level 250 and above at 6 o'clock. And you can see that unsettled weather here sort of starts from the Bay of Biscay and extends south as far as Lisbon. So let's have a look at the actual weather and the flight plan. So we have Lisbon, as we said. Faro is a little bit better. Prob 30, thunderstorms, visibility down to 3 kilometres throughout the whole period, the whole 24-hour period. Porto, heavy thunderstorms. Seville and Vigo has thunderstorms as well. We'll have a look at the weather for Malaga and see. Malaga's a little bit out of the way, but with all these thunderstorms, if they all hit at the right time, we might be as well to have a bowl told for good weather. So let's see. So there's the TAF for Malaga. Variable 3 knots, greater than 10 kilometre visibility, scattered cloud, and the worst case scenario, prob 40, a little bit of rain. So Malaga is and you spoke earlier on to the flight planner about that.
And she gave us a figure for the Malaga as an alternate of 2085, so we'd have enough in our extra to cover us.
Fantastic.
For that.
Fantastic. So Malaga is an option. I have a feeling all of these will be an option, but we'll know a little bit closer to the time if we do need them. Yeah. It's quite a wide span of a probability of 30 and 40 for thunderstorms. So Malaga or either of the above, we'll decide a little bit later on.
Perfect.
So 12.7 is a good fuel.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the NOTAMs. So you can review the NOTAMs there. Dublin hasn't changed much since yesterday.
Yeah, so we're down to Cat 1 and 10 if we need to come back in today, but it shouldn't be a problem given the weather that we have. We saw the runway was closed until 4 Zulu this morning.
It's open now, yeah.
So just some taxiway closures there that won't affect us this morning. And we're familiar with all the above, so we're just looking for anything that's been updated in the last week since we've been flying. Everything else we should be familiar with. So there's no changes to any of the information there. And then 10th of May, so it says check tempo charts distributed for this aerodrome, so that was yesterday. So we'll have a look at those when we get onto the tablets. In Lisbon then, 1735 is closed for landing and takeoff, so we'll be using 2103 there. Traffic on the approach may be subjected to missed approach climb gradient to 3.5%, which again shouldn't be a problem for us today in two missions. Again, some taxiway closures we can review as we get closer. And again, we're just looking for anything that's been updated in recent times. So taxiway Yankee and November 1 it says.
So as you said, 3517 is closed, but we can use 03.
Which is the longer runway.
Yeah, which is the longer runway. And taxi closures were?
So Yankee is closed.
Taxiway Yankee, where is Yankee? There's Victor, Mike, Zulu.
There's Yankee there.
Oh, there's Yankee, so yeah, it's a minor taxiway, yeah.
And November 1.
November 1.
November 2 is there. November 1 is there.
November 1 is here again, so
Okay,
we've multiple
so
routes in and out.
If we're going for 03, we're going via Mike, I would assume.
Great. Looks like it'll be 2-1 today with the wind. Okay.
CBM, trial operations in Lisbon is ongoing.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll download the note times for Malaga on the iPad.
Perfect.
Just very quickly, we have a crew, we have an aircraft.
Yeah.
Looks like we're full today, 174 seats and 174 guests. There's no defects for the machine, Echo Oscar, it's clean. And we have a slot. And we're parked over on the B pier, stand 313 Lima. We have a wheelchair Romeo. And Julia O'Mahony is the red cap today. And the senior is Louise Foley. Fantastic. Let me download the note times from Malaga. We've ordered our fuel. I think we're nearly ready to get out to the airplane and switch it on. Okay, so I have the Atlantic Tango 9 charts here.
Perfect. So I have the coordinates if you want them to go to be first.
So what we'll do is we'll just check the points here, Lasno and Vegas, and if you just dot them then.
Yeah.
So we'll check that in the cockpit, the lats and longs in the cockpit.
Perfect.
And so it's Lasno
Lasno, yeah.
and Vegas.
Lasno and Vegas, yeah.
So, and you've dotted both of them, that's good.
Uh-huh.
Great. So we do the lat and longs in the cockpit and we do the tracks and distances in the cockpit.
Perfect.
Fantastic. So we'll bring this with us in case we need to go old fashioned. And you have the return flight plan.
I do.
Just let me just log down the flight time and the fuel.
Flight time.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Maybe. 9.2. I'm not signing here. I'm not signing here. You do the same. Thanks, Andy. Well, that's it. It looks like mostly a good day. There's the temporarily chance of maybe thunderstorms or cumulonimbus activity in Lisbon, but hopefully we'll get in and out before that occurs. We'll know a little bit more as we get closer. We'll get an up-to-date weather, but everything else is in good shape for a nice, fine day of fine weather flying. Let's go out to the airplane now. We'll get it ready. We'll switch it on. We'll kick the tires, and we'll get going for an on-time departure. So good morning again. Here we are at the aircraft. As you can see on the ramp, it's much noisier, much more activity. The aircraft we've been given this morning is a unique aircraft to Aer Lingus. We call it our Green Spirit aircraft. As you can see, the paint scheme is a little bit unusual. It's there to represent our Irish rugby team, a team we're very proud of, a team that play with great spirit, very similar to the airline Aer Lingus, which operates with a great spirit. We all have green blood running through our veins. And on the tail of the aircraft, some of our rugby players, you can see Tommy Bowe, Rob Carney, and the two at the back that you'll see a little bit later on are Robbie Henshaw and Conor Murray. This is Echo Oscar, Delta Echo Oscar, and we have one other aircraft in the fleet that's painted in these colours. I'm just about to do my walk around now, so if you'd like to follow me, and we'll talk you through the few bits and pieces that we checked pre-flight. Not only do we check the aircraft with a walk around, so do our engineering staff. So it gets a minimum of 2 walk arounds before each departure. From where we are at the moment, we just want to have a general look at the aircraft to make sure everything is normal. For example, close to where the doors are, we want to make sure that there's no damage from steps, from air bridges, from other vehicles, which sometimes happens in a very busy environment like the aircraft. What's also very important is we have to check that our static ports, our angle of attack vanes are clear of ice, any obstruction. For example, in the past there have been industry-wide events where maybe a little bit of tape has been on the ports and caused blockages. These ports are giving us information for our instrumentation in the cockpit, like our airspeed, etc., our altitude, etc. Underneath the belly of the aircraft we have a variety of antennae. VHF, HF is up on the tail. We have our radars at the back. Again, just make sure that all antennae are in good shape and attached to the aircraft. As we come to the nose wheel, very similar to your car, you're going to check that the tires are in good shape, there's good depth on the tread, and there's no damage. We have a look at our oleo extension, and from this perspective here we can see all three oleos, and to make sure there's no imbalance between the oleos, which means that they're hydraulically pressurized. We make sure that we have no nose wheel steering pin, that all the hydraulic lines are clean and there's no leaks. We check that our lamps and bulbs are in good shape, there's no cracks or no extinguished bulbs. Our parking brake is set, and this will help us later on when we're checking the brake wear indicators on the main landing gear. So now we come to the front of the aircraft. Again, we check the general appearance of the radome. We make sure it's latched. We have pitot probes, we have TAT probes, and we're checking also at all stages around the aircraft for the potential for any bird strikes that may have occurred on the previous flight. It looks clean so far. We have some more pitot probes here, another angle of attack probe, and we have more static probes. Again, around the door area, we're checking for damage, for possibly potential catering trucks that may have caused any damage. It looks good at the moment. Our avionics hatch, we have a security seal here to indicate that it hasn't been tampered with for obvious reasons. As we move along, we have a nice view of the wing here, the leading edge and all the slats, again for bird strikes or any damage. As we approach the engine core, we'll observe all the blades for any bird strike damage, any damage at all. Everything looks good. In the winter we will be checking for fan blade icing as well. In the winter we can check for underwing icing as well. This is our refueling panel. We ordered 12.7 on the fuel. We have 12.7 and it's evenly distributed. What's interesting about this panel is it's red, and when it's open, it's quite obvious that it's open, and it's designed that way so someone will spot it. Even if someone doesn't spot that it's open, it's hinged in this direction, so at high speed it will naturally close, which is a good feature. A lot of the airplane is designed ergonomically like that, in a fail-safe fashion. So the main landing gear. Okay, we're going to check all the lines for any sign of leak, no signs of leak. We're going to check the tires for depth and wear. Our parking brake is set, so we can check the brake wear indicators here, and we have plenty of brakes left. We can go all the way flush with these, and the same at the back. And we have good depth to all our brakes. Tires are in good shape also. Our engineering department do a really good job of maintaining these aircraft to a very high standard. So at the back of the engine, if we can squat down and make sure we've no leaks from the drain mast. And again, just a good look at the engine core and the back of the engine to make sure that we've no ingestion of birds, and in the winter time, no icing. As we proceed along the back, we'll have a look at the trailing edge of the wing, all the static ports. We'll have a look at the flaps, the ailerons, and we're having a look at the nav lights. Let's make sure they're switched on. And again, just having a quick look at the winglets to make sure that there's no damage from a previous flight. Underneath here we can see the fuel tank through this aperture here to make sure it's where it should be. We can see a white line in there to indicate that the fuel tank is exactly located where it should be. So as I was mentioning earlier on, you didn't see Rob Carney and Tommy Bowe, Robbie Henshaw and Conor Murray on both sides of the aircraft. Again, we're looking around the cargo door area for damage, the bulk door for damage, and we have the outflow valve here for our pressurization system. Again, checking for damage on the aft door. We're having a look at the tailplane, all the static ports, and we're having a look at the drain area from the APU. We currently have the APU running, so that's that noise in the background. The navigating light at the back is working, and up here we can see the discharge bottle for the extinguisher has not discharged for the APU, so it's intact, and we can see that by a red indicator there just underneath the tailplane. We're looking at the elevator and the stabilizer, and we're looking at the stabilizer in the 0 position. Just checking that all the hydraulic panels are closed and latched. And then we look at the other main landing gear, as on the other side. Brake wear indicators, hydraulic lines, any leaks. Tread depth is very good, no damage to the tires, and we have no landing gear collars fitted. And the port navigating light is working. So there you have it, Green Spirit is ready to go. All that's left for us to do is to program our FMGS system, do a few pre-flight checks in the cockpit, start her up and let's get going. Hi Louise. Hi, how are you doing? I'm Stephen, very nice to Rachel, very nice to meet you. Okay guys, welcome to the cockpit of the A320 Echo Oscar. We've done a little bit of preparation already, but we'll go over most of the main items for your benefit. Myself and Emily today are flying on the Tango 9 transatlantic route south over the Bay of Biscay toward the Iberian Peninsula, and it's a little bit of an unusual route for us today. We don't do it that often, so we have some Atlantic route procedures to cross-check. So Emily, I'm going to check on the flight plan to make sure that the Atlantic points are correct, if you wouldn't mind checking lats and longs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me find the first transatlantic waypoint, which is Laszno. And the latitude and longitude for Laszno is 48 degrees 35 minutes and 9 seconds north.
Checked.
And 009 00.0 west.
Checked.
Okay, so that's Laszno checked, and let me check Vegas is 45 degrees north, so 4500.0 north, and 9 degrees west, which is 009 00.0 west.
That's checked.
So in terms of the track and the distance for Laszno and Vegas, Lasno, the track will be 185.
I have 183.
Okay, that's good enough. 185, and the nautical miles 216.
I have 216.
Excellent. So our pre-flight transatlantic, our pre-flight Atlantic track check is complete. We might pre-populate a little bit later on our oceanic clearance, and we'll talk to Shanwick Airborne through DCL and get our Atlantic clearance. What our flight level is 370. We'll aim for 36 or 37.
36 with a step climb in between to 37.
Fantastic.
So we'll have a look at our max, and at the minute it's saying a max of about 36 with a 1,000-foot clearance.
Fantastic. So I previously had a look at the tech log just to go over it with you, Emily. Echo Oscar. So we've got the right tech log for the right aircraft.
Roger.
The airplane is very clean. Our maintenance department have done a great job on this machine. There's no outstanding DDRs. A clean log. It came in last night from... It's hard to read. I think it came in from Stuttgart last night. And it landed with 3 tons of fuel. We're after uplifting 12.6, which is correct. The ramp A and B has been complete. We've had a dual uplift of oil on both engines up to 18 and 18 and a half,
okay.
And that's signed twice, which is correct. And the fueling has been signed twice because we had 2 uplifts. And our hydraulics are full, and full.
Perfect.
So we have oil, we have hydraulics, we have fuel. We have a clean log, and the last issue from a technical perspective was we had a right centre tank pump low pressure warning, which is not there at the moment, and that was on the 10th of the 5th, and our maintenance department carried out a repair or a procedure on that, and that looks good. It's signed off. And from a cabin perspective, there's no outstanding issues in the cabin either. There was a few bulbs went about a week ago. Everything else is in good shape.
That's great.
So technically, the aircraft is good.
So Stephen, if you're ready, I'll give you a brief.
Yeah, I'm ready for a brief. So we'll do it here on the EFBs. It'd be great.
Perfect. And we've discussed the standard brief inside in the ops room.
Yep. Standard briefing calls are discussed and completed.
So the ATIS there is Delta for Dublin, and they're using runway 28. Taxiway Alpha is closed. Dual operations available. State runway in departure clearance request. We've got the clearance in already, and we know we're going to be taking runway 28 this morning because we're a little bit heavy, and we'll watch out for departures off 3-4.
Great. It looks like there's a small tailwind there, so we might do the tailwind takeoff technique.
Absolutely.
And we'll make sure that we've tailwind figures for the performance.
Perfect. QNH is 997, which I've set 3 times, and showing about 220 feet, which looks reasonable there. So that's the ATIS reviewed. The NOTAMs we also had a look at inside, and we saw there was no issues. The only thing is that 10 is Cat 1 only.
Okay,
just come back
great.
It shouldn't be a problem this morning. All that early morning mist is burnt off. The charts then, it's standard EASA ops for Dublin. There's no emergency or compulsory turns there. The MSAs, 22 to the north and 4,000 feet to the south. Within that little sector there. That's just due to the Dublin Mountains. We can see them this morning. The aerodrome elevation is 242 feet, so ECAM actions will be 650 feet, as discussed.
Very good.
And the Transalt is 5,000 feet. So we'll be departing off 28 Westerly this morning and making a left towards Alono. So we'll be just keeping in mind the terrain, and we might delay the after takeoff checklist until we're above the MSA.
Okay, 4,000 feet will affect us today. Very good.
Any problems, if they happen before the Oscar Echo, we'll make a right turn, keep into the lower MSA of 2,200 feet.
Okay.
And come back in on 28. We're pushing back off of 313 Lima this morning, which is on Pier B. So they will probably push us back to Foxtrot from here, or maybe even out to Echo or Uniform.
Okay.
So we'll see what we get when we get push and start clearance. And then for runway 28, we'll be taxiing, I would imagine, staying inside here, possibly out link 3. I imagine it'll be all the way to link 2, and then Fox 1, Echo 1 for runway 28. And we might consider the use of Echo 2 figures as well.
Echo 2 figures with dual runway ops, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
It looks like we might be one of the last out this morning with our departure time, so we might get full length as well, but we'll have Echo 2 figures just in case.
As a backup, yeah. So the runway itself is 2,637 metres long. It's standard width, and there's poppies on the left and right set to 3 degrees with a full approach lighting system as well.
Very good.
We need to come back in on to 28. The SID this morning is the Alono 5 Alpha. It's what I've set up in the box, and I will show you what I have. So I've checked all the tracks and distances, so they're all correct. Alono 5 Alpha departure, when passing 2,000 feet, contact Dublin Control on the assigned frequency. I'm expecting 1356500 this morning, so I'll set that up on the standby on box 2.
Great.
Just as a reminder, 9.1% climb gradient to 4,000 feet, which shouldn't be a problem, works out at about 2,000 feet a minute. Notes 1 and 2, 4% for obstacle clearance, and continuous climb required for separation from military operations at 3,000 feet in Romeo 15 sector. So again, NADP2 covers us for that.
Great, and you have that in the box in the performance page.
Yeah.
Thanks, Emily.
So the routing is straight out to the Oscar Echo, and then that's an overfly point with a left turn towards Bal, and then Neapod, and then from Neapod it's a right turn towards Alono. So Neapod, Alono. So that's all there. Oscar Echo, minimum 3,000 feet, which I have there. You can see it in the box. And Oscar Echo, and even though we're a little bit heavier, it's still estimating we should
clear
make
it by
constraint.
200 feet. Very good.
And the initial climb is flight level 90, so I have 9,000 set. We have our clearance in.
That's fantastic.
Warning, continuous climb to 4,000 feet required on the Alono 5 Alpha for separation from military operations at 3,000 feet in Romeo 15. And warning, do not climb above flight level 90 until instructed by ATC. It also says that DME or GNSS is required.
Great.
And we have GPS primary with nav accuracy high there. So that covers us for that.
Thank you.
So that's all the pertinent points there on the chart covered. So I'll run you through the Mach 2 there. So the database is in date until the 25th of May.
Fantastic.
So we have a current database. The route I had to amend slightly. So I'll show you the stored route, and the stored flight plan reads Dublin, and it says Alono 5 Alpha to Alono, direct Mapag, direct Lasno, Tango 9 Vegas, direct Pinnack, direct Zamax.
The checks.
For
Very
Lisbon.
nice. Yep.
The alternate for us today is Faro. We're the 482 call sign. 360 initially, and I have the winds all in as well, and the IRS I aligned, so it should read, and I'll give you the chart there. The ARP is 5325.3 north, 00616.2 west.
That checks.
The flight plan shows Alono 5 Alpha off 28 into runway 21 in Lisbon. It gives an 2 hours 21 minutes flight time and 928 miles, which is pretty much spot on. Yep. According to our flight plan.
Very accurate.
The secondary I've set up for a return onto 28 if we have any problems, as discussed. So if any problems before the Oscar Echo, we'll make it a right turn. If not, we'll make it a left turn. We'll get vectors and come back in.
If needs be, we can do a teardrop back onto 10.
Absolutely, if the wind is favourable.
The only thing to consider is we're above max landing weight to take off there. We're 71 tons, so we'll have to consult the overweight landing checklist in the QRH if we do need to return.
That's it. We could always go to one of the cardinal holding points if it wasn't urgent.
Sure.
Take up a hold there and
let the weight come down.
Yeah,
very good.
Exactly. The radnavs I have DAP. I'm going to put in the BAL there for reference and the Oscar Echo. The GPS is primary and nav accuracy is high. Bearing a distance to runway 28 should we need to come back in. Performance, we discussed NADP2 and we're just awaiting a load sheet for our performance figures. And that leaves us with an extra 1 hour 20 minutes or an extra 3.3 tons, which again looks reasonable according to the flight plan figures. And that's landing with approximately 6.2 tons in Lisbon.
Okay, I'm going to just put the route reserve to 0.2 there from the flight plan there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Perfect. So that's everything in the box covered. If you're happy with that. And to finish off then, so we've discussed the fuel, the automatics. I might just fly it out to the Oscar Echo.
Great.
And then we'll go to the autopilot.
It's a beautiful morning, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, why not?
So we've done ADAS NOTAMs, we've done the charts, F4 PPS threats, any threats?
Threats, so the threats this morning, tailwind, so we'll use the tailwind technique.
Very good.
dual runway operations as discussed earlier, so we'll take the figures for Echo 2 if we need them. And also, we're a little bit heavy this morning.
Great.
So we'll take that into account.
Anyway, thanks, Emily. That's a great brief. Will I give you the before start check?
Yeah, no problem.
Before start check says cockpit prep.
Is complete. I have 6 lights.
EFB switches.
They're on both sides.
Gear pins and covers.
Removed. I have 3 behind, and we have the memo on the nose wheel.
Thank you. Signs.
I have on auto and armed.
Aiders.
3 in nav, and I've logged the mixed RS position.
Thank you. The fuel quantity, we asked for 12.7. It's 12.6 now. That's just a little bit of burn from the APU.
Roger, and that's checked and sufficiently balanced.
Barrel reference.
Is 997, reading 230 feet approximately, once, twice, 3 times.
The check is complete to the line.
That's great.
We have a tailwind procedure whereby if the wind is cross or tail, we advance the thrust levers initially to stabilise them at 50%, and once the engine is stabilised at 50%, very quickly we come up to 70, and then we set our flex takeoff setting. Meanwhile, we're doing that, we hold the nose full down. So the idea is for the thrust setting is to prevent any engine stall for a crosswind or a tailwind, and for the nose down is to give us maximum lateral authority in a crosswind with the nose wheel on the ground. At 100 knots, we'll bring our nose wheel back up to the neutral position, our control stick to the neutral, our side stick to the neutral position, and that's the main difference. Okay, Emily, I'm just going to cross-check with you on the figures. Let's see. So, optimum on the configuration, air conditioning on, anti-ice off flex. 15 might be a little bit warm. Let's call it 13.
Okay, 13.
995 on the QNH. It's just 2 below. That's the latest wind, and we'd get an accurate wind there. It's not giving us a flex takeoff with this weight. Let's see. EIDW. So what we're doing here is we're working at our performance. We're very heavy today. There's a slight tailwind on the runway. And as it stands, with our current set of figures, we can't use flex takeoff. We have to use toga takeoff. So we just get a more accurate, up-to-date wind, and that may allow us to use flex takeoff. What flex takeoff does is it derates the engines, so you don't have to use maximum takeoff power on every departure. That saves the wear on the engine and the lifetime of the engine, and it's easy to do, and it's allowable because the runways are so long. But in a situation like this, we have a tailwind. Will we go for 5 knots?
5 knots, yeah.
And we'll see how that works.
It says it's only 8 degrees, so if you want to go 10 on the temperature?
Yeah, so go 5 knots there. We go 10 on the temperature.
And QNH is now 996. So if you want to go 994 on the pressure?
We leave it as...
Happy with 995?
Yeah, 995 is good. We'll see if we get a flex off this. So we have a flex, okay. So we'll ask for full length.
Okay, perfect.
Because I prefer to get a flex rather than toga.
Super.
And I think it's quite enough. I think we will get full length. So just to double check, optimum on, off, flex. 10, 995 minus 5, 28 and dry. 71.5. The weight may drop, it may help us.
Yeah, perfect.
And it gives us 1 plus F, 71.5, 44, 47, 48, 45 degrees flex.
That's all checked, yeah.
Okay. Once we get the load sheet, we'll put the accurate weight in and we'll use those figures.
We'll, read the figures, perfect.
Looks like most of the passengers have joined us. I'm going to give them a PA now.
Great.
And flight time is 2 hours, 20 minutes.
8 firm. And there's your latest weather for Lisbon.
Off the air for the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the cockpit. The captain speaking. My name is Stephen O'Reilly. You're all very welcome on board. Very shortly now we'll be underway. Air traffic control have told us we have a small slot delay. That might involve sitting on the tarmac here for another 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll be underway. Flight time once we do get going is quick, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Conditions en route mostly pleasant and smooth. As we descend towards Lisbon, there might be the odd little bit of light turbulence due to a little bit of unsettled weather in Lisbon. At the moment it's raining, unfortunately, and the temperature is 15 degrees centigrade. Working with me in the cockpit today, First Officer Emily Donoghue. In the cabin, looking after your comfort, but more importantly your safety, is Senior Cabin Crew Member Louise Foley, along with Emer, Shane and Rachel. Enjoy the flight. You're most welcome. We'll talk to you later on with any updates we may have. Okay, we have the load sheet here. I've signed it and Judy's approved it. It's the 482, the 11th of May, edition 1. The dry weight is 43535.
Checked.
And the dry operating index is 52.9.
That's checked.
We have a total of 168 passengers on board.
Roger.
The zero fuel weight actual, if you're ready to copy, is 58.3.
58.3 down a little bit.
Down a little bit. The max LFW is 31.5.
31.5.
Fuel on board is 12.6.
Yep.
That gives a takeoff weight of 70.7. Is good enough
70.7 checked.
The trip is 6138, gives a landing weight of 64.6.
64.5, which is close enough, yeah.
So we change our takeoff weight up here to 70.7 and we'll get a better flex figure. Actually, we call it 70.8 just to give us a little bit of a margin.
Yeah, perfect. So all other figures as they are, and I've just put in 70.8 and hit recalculate.
So it's still
again,
full length.
yeah. So
you're looking at 1 plus F,
yep.
70.8, 44, 47, 49, and flex of 46 degrees. Does
that's
that
all.
correspond?
Yeah, all correct.
Let's select that one.
So I'll select that. Full length figures. And hit complete.
Just gonna hold you there, Emily.
Okay.
Louise.
168 heads.
168 it is. It'll be a 5-minute taxi. 2:20 flight time. It'll mostly be smooth. Descending into Lisbon, there's a little bit of unsettled weather. It might be a little bit of light chop, and that's about it. Yeah, we have a bit of a slot. What time is the slot again?
0716. So
yeah, probably 10
past.
minutes. Probably 10 minutes. Thanks for everything, Louise. See you later. So, whenever you're ready, Emily.
Yeah, perfect. So I'll call you the figures there. For performance overy, 70.8 tons. 28 full length figures. Takeoff shift is 0.
0.
Flap 1 and confirm the THS.
Flaps 1, we have 29.7, which equals 0.3, nose down.
And that looks correct. About 30 for 0.3. The flex is 46 degrees.
46.
Engine out 1750 standard.
That checks.
V1 144.
144.
VR 147.
147.
V2 149.
149.
And a clean of 227.
226 in the box, that makes sense.
That checks. Transalp is 5 and standard thrust reduction acceleration altitudes.
5,000 feet and 1750.
Checked. So I'll sign that off. Just back to the charts.
Fantastic. At your leisure, if you wouldn't mind calling fully ready with that slot, and we'll see how we get on. And the ground check is complete.
All doors and hatches closed, secured, the steering bypass pins installed, and ground checks are now complete.
Fantastic. We just have a small slot delay. We're talking to AGC at the moment. I'll have an update for you very shortly.
No problem. Stand by.
Shamrock 482, roger, thank you. The frequency after departure 135.650. Just an update on the CTOT 0735 now, 0735 for your CTOT. We will send a ready message.
Roger, that's copied. 135650.
Cockpit to ground. He's just given us bad news. Unfortunately, the slot has gotten worse to 0735. So that'll be airborne at 25 maybe.
We're ready on 108 right.
So do you want to take a seat somewhere and I'll stick on the beacon when it's time to take a rest?
No bother, that's great, Jim.
Thank you. Cheers.
So 0735. So we won't be starting until 10.
Ground Shamrock 482.
Go ahead.
How you doing? With the previous controller, he told us to call him back at 10 past, bearing in mind our slot of 0735 to just assess when we could be ready for push and start.
Yeah, that looks good. Hold position, monitor ground 121.8. Bye.
Hold position, monitor the ground 121.8. Shamrock 482. Goodbye.
Okay, Emily,
Okay, I'll take below the line, please.
Okay, so mobile phone and iPad.
Or off airplane mode.
The calling behind, I'll call you back.
Roger, listening out Shamrock 482. Morning.
So I'm holding it there. Takeoff data.
Set runway 28 full length figures.
Windows and doors.
6 slides. I have 2 colours. Doors locked.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
ATC transponder.
Auto.
Parking brake.
Set.
And the beacon.
On.
Cockpit to ground, just to confirm again if you don't mind that all doors and panels are secured, the ground checks are complete and the pin is in.
All doors and hatches closed, secured, the steering bypass pins installed, and all ground checks are now complete.
It's a regular push, is it?
It's a lifter today.
Okay, the brakes are set, you're clear to lift.
Clear to lift, thank you.
But now, when clear, your push and start is approved. You can use your release point uniform on apron for the QNH 0996.
That's copied. Once the company is clear behind, we're push and start.
to Dublin Lisbon uniform, QNH 906, Shamrock 482.
And cockpit the ground, we have 330 on tow behind us. Once he's clear and you're happy, we're clear to push and start to tug release point uniform.
Tug release point uniform after the company under tow. Copy that.
So we are continue to start the taxi on
Thank you.
So I know the old box time.
then clear to cross runway 16 Papa 1, and we will hold short of Foxtrot Outer, Ryanair 6015.
Good morning, Ryanair 428 Echo on the Bravo.
Ryanair 428 Echo, good morning, taxi Bravos and Mike 2, hold short 34, expect stand 124.
Ryanair Bravo, Mike 2, holding short 34 and expect stand 134, Ryanair 428 Echo.
Ryanair 428 Echo, stand 124.
Sorry, stand 124, Ryanair 428 Echo.
Okay, so before start check is complete, you're cleared to start engines, FADEC is powered, pressure is good, 2 is in.
Ryanair 428 Echo, cross runway 16 Mike 1, hold short Fox Outer.
Crossing under 16 Mike 1 and holding short Fox Outer, Ryanair 428 Echo.
That checks.
Ryanair 6015, contact delivery 121.875.
Cockpit the ground, that's a good start too. Clear number 1.
You're clear number 1.
You're clear start 1, Emily.
Okay. And
clear
clear
status.
status. So 1 is in.
Cockpit the ground, thank you very much. We have 2 good starts. At your leisure, disconnect. We'll see you on the left-hand side. Thanks for your help. Good morning.
Good morning. Ground out by now.
So, no bleed going off and APU not required.
Not required for performance reasons, thank you. So there's the man, there's the pin, there's the tug. So do you want to do a flight control check? Thank you.
So my tops. Elevators full up, full down, and neutral.
Checks.
Full left, left aileron, 4 spoilers up. Full right, right aileron, 4 spoilers up. Neutral.
Checks.
So we're clear on the rudder. So rudder full left, right, neutral.
And my flight controls full up, full down, neutral position.
Checked.
Left ailerons and spoilers up, right ailerons and spoilers up, neutral position.
Checked. I'll take the after start checklist.
The after start check says anti-ice.
Not required.
Engine mode selector.
Norm.
Rudder trim.
0.
Pitch trim.
So we're looking for 0.3 down once, twice, 3 times, about 30%, and it was, I think, 29.7 on the load sheet.
That's correct. Cross checks on the load sheet. Flight controls.
Checked.
And ECAM status.
That's all checked.
Are you happy for taxi?
A-firm.
Dublin Grand, Shamrock 482, taxi please.
Shamrock 482, roger. Taxi, link 3, Fox 2, Fox 1, Echo 1, hold short 3428, earliest airborne time 30.
Earliest airborne time will be 30 via link 3, Fox 2, Fox 1, Echo 2, hold short 34 and 28. Today we need full length. If you could help us there, that'll be great. Shamrock 482.
Shamrock 482, that won't be a problem.
Thanks very much.
Okay, so out on link 3, so right here, and then a left down the Foxes, and to follow that Transavia. And clear right. Perfect, thank you.
So looking at the windsock, it still is a little bit of a tailwind, Emily.
That's checked. And brakes are set. Yeah, bit of a quartering tailwind.
Yeah, so we'll use the tailwind takeoff technique.
Okay.
So
set
50%, 70%,
70, and then flex.
and full nose down until 100 knots.
That's checked.
That's it. This is going to be a nice view of a 330 landing.
Lovely morning in Dublin.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Here it comes.
Shamrock 482, still 5 minutes to your earliest airborne, but I have a re-clearance on your climb out for you.
Okay, ready to copy the re-clearance, Shamrock 482.
Shamrock 482, roger, the SID is cancelled. Your climb out now is the track extend the centre line, stop climb, altitude 4,000 feet, QNH current 09096 hectopascals, and that is for some calibration ongoing just to the south of the field.
Okay, that's copied. New clearance based on a new QNH of 0996. Climb straight ahead, runway extended centre line, 4,000 feet altitude.
Shamrock 482, read back correct, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's copied. So I have 279 set there. And
morning, Tower, Shamrock 13 Juliet, ILS 2.
what I can do is just
Shamrock 13 Juliet, good morning, number
make
one.
a discontinuity after the Oscar Echo.
Take the ball out, yeah.
So, yep, I'll just clear a ball. And I have flight band discontinuity there.
So 4,000 feet, 4,000 blue for an altitude.
And I have...
Here's the Boston flight.
Shamrock 482, line up and wait, runway 28.
Line up and wait, runway 28, Shamrock 482.
Okay, clear to line up. I'll take the PWS, please.
You got it.
Stopper is gone. Approach is clear.
Clear on the left.
And brakes released.
Shamrock 13 Juliet, vacate Echo 7 and Bravo 6, thanks.
Echo 7 Bravo 6, Shamrock 13 Juliet.
Shamrock 13 Juliet, contact ground 121.8, bye-bye.
128, Shamrock 13 Juliet, bye-bye.
Shamrock 482, track extend the centre line, stop climb altitude 4,000 feet, surface wind 070 degrees 05 knots, runway 28, clear takeoff.
Strike extended centre line, 4,000 feet altitude, clear takeoff, Shamrock 482, take care.
All the best, and see ya.
And take off.
Checks. Stabilized.
So quickly to 70 and flex.
215, proceed on to
And
runway
flex 46, SRS runway, auto thrust blue, runway update.
Trust is set, indications are all normal.
215 airborne, we just have, you can take an extra minute or so if you want to do a slightly slow check.
That's coming, thanks. 100 knots.
Checked.
V1, rotate. Positive climb.
Positive climb checked. Gear up, please.
Gear up.
Runway track.
Checks.
Rhino 31 Yankee Romeo, line up wait runway 28.
Line up wait runway 28, Ryan, 31 Yankee Romeo.
Lever climb, open climb.
Checks.
Today,
Radar, good morning. Shamrock 482, passing 2,200 feet, climbing 4,000 feet straight ahead.
Shamrock 482 identified, climb flight level 160.
Climb flight level 160, Shamrock 482.
Just climb, auto thrust. 16,000 blue.
16,000 blue checks.
That's increasing, flap 0.
Speed checks, flap 0. 0 blue.
Shamrock 20 Tango, contact approach, 121, decimal 1.
1-1, Shamrock 20 Tango, thanks.
Thank you. That and we come back to it, okay? Check those fuel pumps again. Operating normally. So looking at the wind sockets then. Line up a mate runway 28, Shamrock 48. Clear on that. Strike extended centre line, 4,000 feet altitude, clear takeoff, Shamrock 482, take care. Thanks. Stabilised. Thrust is set, indications are all.
Shamrock 482, channel control, good day to you. Identify, continue climb flight level 240.
Continue climb flight level 240, Shamrock 482.
Flight level 240 blue. Check, so lights coming in. Signs are yours.
Echo New Whiskey Alpha Tango information. Just confirm your routing on the Cork after Dungarvan.
Turn the terrain off. And you can clear the rad navs, please. When you're ready.
Clearing the rad navs.
Yep.
What would you like with the secondary?
We'll keep secondary for a few minutes until we get a little bit further up.
And we are pressurising.
Roger, and you have 21.5 in the background.
So will we send off our oceanic clearance as well?
Yeah, so I can do that.
So let me get an estimate for you for Lasno.
Okay, so we can request our oceanic clearance via data link.
So let's ask Shanwick.
So we go to Shanwick, goes to Tango 9. We're the Shamrock 482. Entry point is Lasno.
And
you're estimating in the box 0820.
0820. Let me check our flight level. So 360 we can make. So 360.78.
That's checked. Max flight level 360 for the oceanic. So we'll send that off.
Very good.
And it should give us an automatic printout telling us if there's no clearance within 15 minutes, we can revert to voice procedures. Yeah, and that's exactly what it says. If no clearance within 15 minutes, revert to voice procedures.
Okay.
So 15 minutes from now is 0752.
Great.
And what I can do is put a time marker in the Mach 2. So if I type in 0752,
great,
and stick it in anywhere here on the left side as a lateral revision, it'll come up 0752, and it should be just after Alono, so we can see it there. So just pretty much a beam Cork.
Great.
If nothing by then, we can revert to voice procedures and get our oceanic clearance that way.
Thanks, Emily.
Looking at the weather, Shannon, it's misty. The visibility isn't great there, but it's
operational.
Yeah, it is. Got one. Cork, a little bit better. Mist.
One 32150 confirmed for Shamrock 482.
Shamrock 482, affirm.
Thank you, sir. Shannon, good morning. Shamrock 482, passing flight level 213, climbing flight level 280 overhead Alono.
Shamrock 482, Shannon, good morning. Identified. Continue climb to flight level 320.
Continue climb flight level 320, Shamrock 482.
Flight level 320, blue.
320, blue checks.
Cork is a little bit better, but we'd have to consider our weight issue if we have to go back to Cork. So
very good. Yeah, we're still about 3.5 tons above max landing weight.
And Cork is obviously a shorter runway as well, so we'd have to assess our landing performance there. Brest, just TCUs there at the minute, becoming rain. Broken 14, scattered TCUs. And Nantes is light rain. And again, TCUs operating in the area. Tempo gusting 25 knots.
Ireland has the best weather today.
Yeah, thunderstorms and rain and broken CBs there as well. So I think probably Brest would be maybe the better option of those two.
Okay. Thanks, Emily.
And then further on Santiago, you have light rain showers, broken TCUs.
I tried the 396, Shannon. Go ahead for
Porto, scattered CBs. Lisbon, few CBs, showers in the vicinity. And Faro is clear.
Right. So there's your oceanic clearance. I'll accept that for you.
Okay.
And you can review it once it comes out.
So the clearance there says clearance 102. Shamrock 482 is cleared to Lisbon via Lasno, random route, Vegas, Pinnock.
I'll check that here for you. So Lasno, Vegas, Pinnock checks.
From Lasno at 0820.
Checks.
Time checks. Maintain flight level 360, which is great, we got our level. Mach decimal 78, so we got what we asked for.
Great.
End of message. And then we have clearance confirmed there as well. So that's been accepted. unconfirmed.
Yeah, they operate the North Atlantic track system on a fixed speed basis to maintain a 10-minute separation between all traffic on the track system. The Tango 9 is an isolated track system west of the normal North Atlantic track network. There's also a Tango 16 and a Tango 14, and it's a very short leg. The leg only lasts from Laszno to Vegas today, which is 156, what was it?
It's about 216 miles, isn't it, total?
So 17, yeah, it's 216 miles. It's
so
a very
half an hour flight
it's a very short leg for us on the Atlantic. So it's a very busy process for us, where we go from radar coverage to non-radar, just for 216 miles. And it would probably be quite a busy corridor as well. There'll be traffic coming north and south. So we're going to put a strategical lateral offset in as well.
We will, and
which will have a slightly off the centre line. And the reason to have a strategic lateral offset procedure on the North Atlantic track system is if we're all a little bit off the centre line and anyone needs to do an emergency descent, we have a separation. So the three positions you can normally fly are on the centre line of the Tango 9, 1 mile right and 2 miles right. And we would pick that position based on the traffic around us at the time. And if there is no traffic, we would normally go 1 right or 2 right. We don't fly the centre line for fear of interfering with traffic coming the other way in the event of us having to descend off for whatever reason. So would you want to set up a strategic lateral offset?
Yeah, I'll do that now.
So here's Laszno.
So this, entry point.
This is our oceanic entry point here, Laszno, and from Laszno here we can see the centre line from Laszno for two. Continue climb flight level 360, Shamrock 482, thank you.
Flight level 360 blue.
360 blue. So you can see here Vegas, we have to put Vegas in there.
No, it's down because it's in plan mode, so it's
that's
true
right.
north.
Yeah. So here's our oceanic entry point, Laszno, and we're going to head south for 216 miles to our oceanic exit point, which is Vegas. And the green line between Laszno and Vegas at the moment is the centre line. We would only ever fly the centre line when we just feel that for traffic purposes or wake turbulence purposes, it's the best track to follow. However, in all other cases, we would go 1 right or 2 right. So what Emily's going to do now, she's going to enter in, are you going to fly 1 or 2 right?
We'll fly 1 right today.
Okay, an offset of 1 nautical mile right, and that'll present itself on the screen once Emily enters it.
I do a lateral revision from Laszno, and I select offset. The offset I want is 1 mile right, so I type that in there. So the start point is Laszno. The end point, we're coming off the track at Vegas, so select that there. And we don't need a significant intercept angle. I think 15 degrees would be plenty. So 1 right, 15 degrees, start point Laszno, end point Vegas. Happy to insert?
Insert that.
So you can see it there, and now it becomes green as I've clicked insert. So it's showing you the 15 degree intercept to a 1 mile right point from the, as Stephen said, the centre line from Laszno to Vegas.
So we have to pass overhead the ocean entry point, and once we've passed it, we're then clear to offset. So the hash line is the centre line, which we will not be flying today, and we'll be flying 1 right, heading south towards Vegas. And then as we approach Vegas, we have to re-enter and pass overhead the oceanic exit point. If we approach Laszno and all the traffic are actually 1 right, we may revise that to 2 right, or we may come back onto the centre line. We'll know a little bit more as we get closer.
The other thing about the oceanic as well is that we're required to submit a position report every time we pass overhead one of the waypoints on the tracks. So as soon as we enter at Laszno, we'll have to make a call via HF to Shanwick to tell them that we were at that point, at what time, at what level, to make sure that we've complied with our oceanic clearance. And we'll do the same then at Vegas. We'll call them with a position report. As Stephen was saying, this is such a short leg today. If you were on the Tango 16, you could have maybe 4 or 5 waypoints along the track. So at each point, you have to make that position report to make sure that ATC know that they're able to estimate a little bit better that you're keeping within your clearance.
Oh, it's a beautiful morning.
Yeah, just past the south coast of Ireland there, so heading out over the ocean.
So our transatlantic leg this morning on the Tango 9 will only take a half an hour.
Yep.
And then we'll back in radar coverage. We'll be talking to Madrid. Two to go.
2 to go checked.
Shamrock 482, contact Shannon, frequency 135.230, bye-bye.
Shamrock 482, climbing flight level 360, direct to Lasno. Estimate Lasno, time 0819er.
Shamrock 482, Shannon, good morning, radar contact, and confirm the next point after Lasno.
Next waypoint after Lasno will be Vegas.
Check, thanks.
There for the RVSM check.
Thank you. So we're going to now do an RVSM check, and we'll make sure that we're all set up for the Tango 9. We'll do a NATS check when you're ready, Emily.
Yep, perfect. So just going through the systems, making sure everything looks okay. Temperatures are good. And that all looks good. So just to run through the NATS check, as we call it. So we check the navigation. So we have GPS primary as our primary source of navigation, with the nav accuracy high, estimating 0.1 of a nautical mile there in accuracy, so that's very high, and we've no problems there. The altimeters, we've done our RVSM check.
Yeah, RVSM is checked and logged.
Checked and logged, and we're within limits.
Flight level 360.
Which we're at, and we just have to select speed then as we get close to Lasno, Mach decimal 78.
Let's select it now.
We can do it now.
So that's done.
So 78, just pull to select there. So it's turned blue, we know it's selected 78.
Okay, our time based on the GPS clock is 8 o'clock there.
Exactly, so we can go to GPS monitor there, and it's showing 0800. That looks pretty good on my watch, and it's within about 2 seconds there. So that's fine.
Great.
And then the 3 S's, as I like to say. So the cell call check we'll get as we get closer to Lasno. We'll get primary and secondary frequencies for Shanwick. The slop we've done, so the strategic lateral offset procedure, which we showed you, the one right offset from Lasno to Vegas. So that's inserted already. And the last S is the squawk, and I've set a time reminder for myself at 0830 to reset the squawk to 2000, and that's so that Madrid can reassign us with a squawk once we get under radar contact off the tracks again.
That's great, Emily. Okay, Emily's just about to build a 15 nautical mile offset line using the MacDo to paint it onto our nav display. She's going to do 2 fan lines either side of the centre line of Lasno and Vegas on the Tango 9, and the reason she's doing that is to enhance her situational awareness. Should we need to deviate or leave the track system for whatever reason, be it a sick passenger, be it a depressurization, an emergency descent, an engine failure, a drift down, we'll now know where the 15 nautical mile offset is, and that's what they want us to fly in a contingency if we're leaving the track system, because we're not on radar coverage. They can't actually see us, but they want us to leave the centre line or our strategic lateral offset, 1 right or 2 right, at 45 degrees and intercept a 15 nautical mile offset. Once we're 10 nautical miles off the centre line, if required, we can descend below the track system, which today is below flight level 280. So Emily, do you want to talk through how you're setting it up?
Yep, so I've just gone into setting up a new waypoint, and I've called this one 15 left, so it's just to the left of Lasno. It's giving me situational awareness that that's going to be my line. So we can do what's called a place bearing distance. So I have the place, which is Lasno, a bearing of 095, which is 90 degrees to the left, and a distance of 15 nautical miles. So if I store that, and then I can put in a fix, and I called it 15 left, so that's my reference, and you can see it pops up here. I'll show you in
I'll take that. Watch your back.
No.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's there,
brilliant.
and now the radial I want to follow is going to be the beam, the
Thanks,
parallel,
Louise.
which is 185, and now it's showing me my 15 miles. You might be able to see it a little bit better there.
Okay, thanks a million. Cheers.
So
Thanks
that's
for
showing me
everything.
my
Okay outside?
15 miles
Lovely.
to the left.
Cheers, thanks a million.
And again, it's as Stephen said, it's going to allow us, if we need to come off the tracks, to be able to parallel that line. So I can do one to the right as well. So again, I go to data and then stored waypoints, and this time I'm going to make a new waypoint. I'm going to call it 15 right, and again it's going from Lasno and a bearing of 285 and a distance of 15 nautical miles. I'm going to store that, and then again back into putting in a fix of 15 right. So fix to 15 right, you can see it pops up there. Might be a bit better. And the radial, again, it's going to be a parallel track of 185, and you can see it's come up there.
Oh, thank you, Louise, thank you.
So now I have my two lines, 15 miles either side of the centre track, which is important, that we're not basing it on the offset that we've already done. So it's 15 miles from that original centre line track between Lasno and Vegas, and again that gives us a sense of awareness as to where we need to aim for if we need to come off the tracks.
So you can see on our charts here, this is our en route chart, and Emily has put in our flight plan in the en route chart. We're currently just leaving the Shannon region. We're slightly west of the London radar control region, and we'll be slightly west of French ATC. And you can see outside the blue regions from Lasno to Vegas, this is where we're on the Tango 9, and this is where we won't be under radar coverage. As we exit south from Vegas, the oceanic exit point, we'll be starting to fly in the Madrid FIR, which is radar controlled from Madrid. And it looks quite straightforward there on that map.
We've done our NATS check, we've checked the weather, and we've discussed everything we need to. We are at flight level 360.
32, that checks. At Lasno, radar service is terminated. Contact Shamrock Radio now on HF 6547. Sloan.
Contact Shanwick on HF 6547, Gurmagam, Shamrock 482.
Clearance was going to take flight level 360, which we have. Mach decimal 78, which we have selected there. And Lasno 0820, so we should be on time. Maybe a minute early, but that's within our limits.
Okay.
So we wind down the scale to 10 miles, and we have a good look out to make sure there's nothing around us. So I have TCAS set to all there. We have a quick look above and below, and we want to make sure that there's nobody conflicting with our level at Lasno. So that's all clear though. Back into TCAS to all. So that'll show us 2,500 feet above and below. Once we get to Lasno, then we want to make sure that it's heading for the correct waypoint with the correct track and distance.
So after Lasno, it will be Vegas, and the track will be 183, and the mileage will be 216.
Okay, that's great. That's what I should have. So a good look out. Doesn't seem to be anybody around. So approaching Lasno there, I have Macal Cruise, nav, autopilot 2 is engaged, flight level 360, decimal 78. Just waiting on the next waypoint, and we should be reading it off there. So I have Vegas 185 degrees, 216 nautical miles.
That cross checks, and you're going on to your strategic lateral offset. So I'll contact on HF to Shanwick. Shanwick, Shamrock 482 on 6547.
Shamrock 482, Shamrock, good morning.
Position report if you're ready to copy.
Yeah, certainly, go ahead.
Shamrock 482 overhead allows no time 0819, flight level 360. Estimate Vegas 0849, Pinnock next. Could I get a cell call check please? Juliet, Sierra, Alpha Foxtrot.
Roger, thank you. Shamrock 482, Shamrock, copied all. This is your primary, secondary 5649er. And at Vegas, call Madrid 135.950. And Juliet Sierra Alpha Fox, stand by please.
And Shamrock 482, cell call checks, readback is correct, 5649 secondary frequency. And Vegas, contact Madrid 135.950. Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Roger, okay, thank you. All the best. Cheers, man.
Okay, so the cell call is done. Just a brief explanation on the cell call. So Stephen asked for a cell call code, cell call check for Juliet Sierra Alpha Foxtrot, which is there, and it's a specific cell call code for each aircraft, so it's almost like the registration. It's unique to this aircraft, and it just means that Shanwick can then call us using cell call, and it avoids us listening out on quite a noisy frequency full of static. So it just means if they want to call us, they just use cell call, and then we get an incoming with an audio tone, and then we can listen out on the frequency. So the cell call check is done. So the only thing that's left to do is reset the squawk in 10 minutes time. And
I'll put 121.5 up there.
121.5, and I have 123.45. So we listen out on the guard frequencies as we're going down the Oceanic. Is that everything?
Yeah, that's perfect. Well done.
Cool. We just got a digital latest there for Lisbon, and it's time 0830. So it says to expect the ILS approach, runway in use is 21, runway is wet because it was showers earlier on. And then it says the wind is at 220 at 11 knots, so it's pretty much straight down the runway at the minute. Might account for maybe a 5 knot tailwind just in case the wind swings around because of the showers. The cloud base is not an issue. A few CBs at 2,000 feet, so we'll keep an eye on that. Temperature is currently 16 degrees and QNH is 1001. So with that information then I can do a landing performance figure.
Okay.
So I can populate that here in the tablet. So covered for a 5 knot tailwind, wet figures and an estimated landing weight of about 65 tonnes. And I've just bumped that up from 0 fuel weight plus the estimated fuel on board, plus an extra couple of 100 kilos if we got shortened track mileage.
Okay.
Manual landing, no ice accretion, aircon on, anti-ice, I'll just go engine, auto thrust and idle reverse, and calculate the landing performance. So we have this software built into these tablets that allows us to calculate the landing performance. So for each runway in Lisbon, and we're going to be landing hopefully runway 21 today. So we can see that with all that information and with no speed increment, we're all in the green. So green is good, which gives us plenty of margin for our landing distance available. And if we took an extra couple of knots on the speed and recalculate, we still are all in the green. So depending on where we want to vacate, so it says here expect vacate hotel or Sierra, so that's quite a bit up. So we might go auto brake low.
Okay. Yeah.
And we might go comp full depending on the wind. So we'll just have a look at that wind later on.
Sure.
If it starts to swing around and it's tailwind, we'll go comp full.
Well, if there's a chance of, sure, go comp full anyway. Yeah.
Perfect.
Go comp full.
Okay. So based on that, we can decide what configuration we want to land in and what auto brake setting, if any, we want to use.
Shamrock 482, flight level 360, approaching Vegas, squawking 2000.
Shamrock 482, buenos días, radar contact, please, squawk 4526.
Squawk 4526, Shamrock 482.
4526 is set.
Checks.
Oh, that's Vegas there, so We've come back to our original track.
So Mark Cruise nav, autopilot 21 FG2, Pinnock is next. We should be radar identified very shortly.
Checked, and we're at flight level 360.78.
And I put in a request for climb to flight level 370.
Roger. Happy to leave it in 78 for the minute?
Yeah, why not? Make up a little bit of time.
482, clear, flight level 376.
Clear to climb now, flight level 370, Shamrock 482, thank you.
So I have flight level 370 blue.
370 blue checks.
And I have thrust climb green.
One to go.
One to go checked, and it says new cruise alt 37,000 feet.
Samsung 3 Lima Yankee, Conta Lisboa 127.255.
I'll just get rid of those fan lines for you.
And I will delete the waypoints as well.
So that's Santiago on the nose.
Yep. So we'll start with the ATIS for Lisbon. We talked about it briefly already. It's an ILS approach runway 21. It's wet, so we'll go auto brake low, come full, and we should have enough room to stop by Hotel Sierra, which is where they expect us to vacate. The wind, not an issue at the minute. It's straight down the runway. Cloud base, again, not an issue, 1,800 feet. Few CBs though at 2,000 feet, so we might have to dodge around those. Temperature 16 degrees at QNH 1001.
Okay.
Okay, and comply with speed limitations unless otherwise advised by air traffic control. So we'll do that.
Okay.
That's information. Mike, the NOTAMs we reviewed, and there was nothing to affect us. We looked at the taxiway closures that are on and ops, so we're familiar with where we can and can't go. So then it's just into the charts. So I've synced them over to you there. It's standard EASA ops for Lisbon. There's no emergency or compulsory turns.
Okay.
The MSAs, 4,000 feet to the north and northeast, and then it goes down to 3,000 feet in the south southwest sector, and that's based on 25 miles from the Lisboa VOR DME. So no major issues in terms of terrain. Spot height there to the west of our track coming in is 2,178 feet. The aerodrome elevation is 374 feet, and on the display there it says landing elevation out of 400 feet, so that's all correct.
Okay.
The Transalt is 4,000 feet also, so bear that in mind. So no major issues in terms of terrain, as I said. The runway itself, runway 21, is 3,205 metres. Standard width is PAPI on the left hand side only. We have a displaced threshold of 500 metres, so the picture might look a little bit strange, so we'll keep that in mind as well. The star is the Zamax 4 Bravo. I've had a look through the AOI information and I couldn't see anything of note.
Okay.
So it's all pretty straightforward. It just said comply with the speed constraints, so nothing in terms of the arrival. So what I have in the box is the Zamax 4 Bravo. And I've checked all the tracks and distances, so it goes from Zamax below flight level 250 of max 280 knots. So I have in the box there 280 knots and below flight level 250. From Zamax we go south to Fatima, and there's no constraint to Fatima. And then we take a right turn towards Renor, Romeo India November Oscar Romeo, and that's above flight level 70. So I have above flight level 70 on the box. Max 220 knots it says. 220 is there as well. And at Renor there is a hold should we need it. And it's 225 degrees inbound course. It's left hand turns and 1 minute legs. And it says minimum holding altitude there is flight level 70.
Great.
So we'll just keep that in mind if we need it, or there's a delay for any reason. Otherwise it should be straight down then to the Papa Tango 410. We could descend down to 4,000 feet on that. Papa Tango 411, and then to Upcat. And Upcat is at or above 4,000 feet. It says flight level 40 there because of the transition altitude being at the same height. And at 180 knots, which again is in the box.
That checks.
So that's our clearance limit, is upcat, because it is the point for our final approach.
Very good.
Couldn't see anything, just RNAV 1 required, which we have, GNSS or DME required, which again we have. The mandatory speed limitations they want us to stick to, so max 280 knots between flight level 245 and flight level 100, max 220 knots below flight level 70, and max 200 knots below 4,000 feet.
Okay.
So that's all fairly standard for us. Spot height there up to the northeast of 4,000 feet, so as long as we get direct to Zamax, we should be well clear of that. That brings us in for the ILS then, which is based on the India Lima Bravo 109.5, which I have there, and I have there. And the inbound course is 206, which again checks there and checks in the back too as well. So upcat is the descent point for us for the ILS. And the platform altitude is 4,000 feet, 4,000 is in the box. It's a 3-degree glide path. It goes down to Cat 1 minima of 560 feet, and we can't do the LTs, so we'll use 550 meters for the required orbiters, which again we should have today.
Okay.
We have an outer marker check height of 1660 on the plate, and that's at the Lima Oscar, which is about 4 DME, and I have that in the box. It says outer marker 21 1670, so it's within 10 feet, so it's all good.
That checks, thank you.
In the event for go round for any reason, I'll call go round. I'll set toga and pitch up to 15 degrees. I'll call for flap up 1 stage. I'll call the FMAs. You'll call positive climb. I'll call checked and gear up. And we go straight ahead, 206, and we climb to flight level 70. So manual 206, flight level 70 is in the box. Once we get on the ground then, we'll vacate. They want us to vacate at Hotel Sierra.
Okay.
So plenty of runway there. And usually we park up in and around where Whiskey 1 is, so I'm expecting to maybe turn left onto Golf. Either take a left up by Whiskey 3 and Whiskey 2, or possibly go straight across 1735, which is closed as we know, and then take a left on Romeo 1.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A right up to Whiskey 1.
I've also parked in this area here, so I don't know whether it'll be, so there and there, yeah, I've parked them both.
Okay.
If we're here, it'll probably be Golf all the way across and park, we'll see.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just keep an eye out for other traffic. I'm expecting it to be quite a busy morning.
Yeah, this runway is closed anyway, so
yeah,
there'll be no threat crossing it.
Perfect. So that's the charts covered, if you're happy with that.
Indeed.
So I'll just run through an FRPBS. So the flight plan is reviewed with the arrival lane and the ILS. The RADNAVs, I'm going to put in Fatima, because it's on the arrival. I'll put in the Lisboa.
Yeah.
And I'll put in the Lima Oscar, because it's on the
approach
finals for approach. The frequency for Lisboa is 401 Lima Oscar, which I have there. The GPS is primary, nav axis is high, and that's required for the RNAV arrival. Bearing and distance 21, just to keep our situational awareness there. Decimal 78 and 280 knots as requested in the descent. All the current conditions in, 560 the minimum for the Cat 1 approach, and it's the Zulu approach we're doing. Burn full, and standard thrust reduction and acceleration altitude. There's no issues on the missed approach. The secondary, I'm just going to copy the active. I'm not expecting anything else in a minute. If we have to do anything else, we'll maybe take up a hold and rebrief.
Very good.
So to finish off then, that leaves us with 3.6 extra tons, so plenty of fuel if we have to hold for weather reasons or if there's any other further delay. Automatics, we're going to go auto brake low, full. I might leave the auto thrust in today.
Okay.
And the threats, the weather is the big issue today, so CBs will consider icing, etc. in the descent. We'll keep the weather radar on, and we'll take vectors if required to dodge around CBs today. you were saying earlier that Lisbon have a tendency to keep you high, so...
Yeah, sometimes coming in from this direction I've been kept high, and sometimes the wind has come around to a tailwind, so you might have to work hard to get the descent down.
Perfect, so we'll consider our options there, thrust idle, open descent, the use of speed brake if necessary.
Great.
And if worst comes to worst, we can just always ask for extended track miles.
Great.
Have you any questions?
No questions at all, Emily. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Shamrock 482, confirm.
Hey, firm, Shamrock 482, overhead Pinnock, Zamax next, level 370.
Shamrock 482, Bondi, radar contact for level 370, Shamrock 6 Delta arrival.
Shamrock 6 Delta arrival. Any turbulence?
Reported turbulence weather on the next, within about 60 miles.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, different arrival. Shamrock 6 Delta. So it's the same runway.
Thompson 4 Charlie Golf, Bondi, radar contact for level 370, proceed to
and then we'll have a look at the chart, see what it says. Zamax 6 Delta. So again, the starting point is Zamax, and that's the same below flight level 250 and 280 knots, which I have there. And then we go 22 miles down to Badham, which checks. There's no constraints there. And then from Badham, we go 33 miles to Umupi. Uniform Mike, Uniform Papa, India. There's a hole there. It's max 220 knots. And 220 knots is in there. So the hole, should we need it, should read 182. Right-hand turns, and it looks like 5 mile legs from here.
Okay.
And that's in there. I'm going to leave it for the minute. We'll put it in if we're given it. So then from Umupi we go to Papa Tango 415, and that's above flight level 70, which checks in the box. And then down to Papa Tango 411, and then we're back to where we were, Papa Tango 411 to Upcat, and Upcat is again the ILS Zulu. So as you said, we're just going a little bit more westerly, and the only difference is where the hold is really.
Great, thanks Emily.
The notes are all the same, so if you're happy with that.
Yep.
Cool.
Lisboa, Shamrock 482, standing by descent.
Shamrock 482, descent to flight level 350.
Descent flight level 350, Shamrock 482.
Okay, flight level 350.
Shamrock 482 and continue with Lisboa 132.3.
132.3, Shamrock 482, thank you.
Okay, happy to start down.
932, reaching level 340.
I'll leave the weather radar on, trying to know it's not really an issue.
Level 360.
Climbing 360,
Yeah, I might bring us 350, we check.
Lisboa, Bondi, Shamrock 482, descending flight level 350 to Zamax, request.
132.3.
Sorry. Lisboa, Shamrock 482, descending flight level 350, direct Zamax with a request.
Shamrock 482, Lisboa, radar contact, go ahead, sir.
Can we request direct Badham due weather, please?
Sir, proceed direct to Badum and rejoin Shamrock 6 Delta arrival.
Abrigada, Badham direct rejoin Zamax 6 Delta, Shamrock 482.
Checks, bottom checks.
This cell here, it's
Yep.
not a big cell, but it's a nice bit of...
Shamrock 482, continue descent flight level 250.
Descent flight level 250, Shamrock 482.
Flight level 250, Blue. 2 knots on below. And I'm going to manage the speed now.
At 15 miles, can we go 25 degrees right?
Deviation approved, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, heading 225 initially. So Mac BS heading green.
Lufthansa 166, contact point 121.1.
Lufthansa 166, 121.1, goodbye.
Shamrock 482, contact Lisboa 125.125.
125, Shamrock 482. Lisboa, Shamrock 482, descending flight level 250. We are heading 225 for weather avoidance.
Shamrock 482, boa tarde, information is Bravo. Confirm how many miles you need on the getting?
In about 5 miles we could go direct to Umupi, and about 10 miles we could go direct to Badum.
Roger, sir. When clear of weather, resume to Badum or Umupi.
Okay, we'll inform you direct Badum or Umupi, Shamrock 482. I say we go direct to Umupi now.
Yeah.
We're past this. It looks like a clear run down.
So.
And Shamrock 482, we are routing direct Umupi, and we will continue to Zamax 6 Delta.
Shamrock 482 approved. Unity descend flight level 150.
Descend now, flight level 150, Shamrock 482.
Okay, Umupi with the beams.
39 Hotel Papa, contact.
Umupi with the beams, check.
Flight level 150 blue.
150 blue, checks.
Nav green. So once it starts to recapture, I'll put it back into managed descent.
Okay. When we get below this layer here, see there's a layer above us here.
Yeah, we should, I think. What do you reckon?
Maybe open descent might get us further away from it. It looks like it's an overhang from something over here. See this thing here?
Yeah, perfect. We'll
looks like an overhang from that. So if we get down into some clearer air here.
Sounds good.
Shamrock 482, able to fly direct up cap, about 5 degrees left.
Stand by, Shamrock 482. Can we go to upcat? I think we can, to be honest.
Yeah, it's showing okay on that.
482, yeah, we can take upcat direct for the moment. As we get closer, we might need to deviate a little bit, but direct upcat right now. Thank you, Shamrock 482.
Shamrock 482, Roger, proceed to upcat.
Okay, upcat with the beams.
Checks.
So it's just going to bring us to that track, but again, they're pushing across.
Yeah, we're on upwind of it,
yeah, exactly.
And if we need to just do a dog leg out here, we can do that. Because there's sounds both sides, really.
Yep.
So that's shortened our track mileage a bit.
A little bit, yeah. We're still reasonably okay. 83 track miles, and we're at 24,000 feet roughly.
Emily, that looks like a clean run, and anything that is close to our track is only green. Okay?
Yep. I think so too. It looks like we're going to be okay.
Switching going again, please.
Shamrock 482, in about 25 miles, we'd like to go left about 15 degrees for about 5 or 10 miles, and then we can go direct to upcat for you.
Shamrock 482, Roger, approved. Descent flight level 701. That left turn, are you able to intercept the localizer final?
Yes, we can intercept the localizer. So descend now, flight level 70. On the left turn, we can intercept the localizer for the final. Shamrock 482.
Shamrock 482, Roger, expect that. Contact now, approach 119.1. Boa tarde.
Arrival, bon dia, Shamrock 482, descending flight level 70. In about 20 miles, a beam of Muppy, we will turn left about 15 degrees due weather, and we will intercept the localizer from there.
Shamrock 482, Roger, continue as clear.
Continue as clear, thank you, Shamrock 482.
1020, turn left to go down.
Left to go down, Portugal 1020.
39 Hotel Papa, established wireless 21. Is it 29 Hotel Papa, Roger, contact tower 119.1, bon dia.
181, bon dia, AC 39 Hotel Papa.
Approach nav, yeah, sorry, I'm armed the nav, yeah, perfect, that sounds good. Yeah, that's great, super.
Passing 10.
Yep, passing 10 checks, lights are done, so I'll take the approach checklist, please. Advised, checked. Are on. Confirmed and set for an ILS runway 21, the Zulu approach. I have India Lima Bravo identified, and I have now Lima Oscar and the Lisbon. Is 560 for the Cat 1.
ECAM status.
Is checked.
And EFB and iPad.
Stowed.
Check is complete then.
Roger, yeah, that's...
That's, we might, when we intercept, we might sort of do a cocked hat around it.
Okay.
Number 3 is subject to traffic, that's expected in about 10 miles.
It's a bit better now, doesn't it?
Copy.
And you're cleared to approach.
Any sense of moving
Confirm,
about 8
so
miles?
we're in 22 miles now.
Speed out start.
Checked.
Now we confirm that you will have to cross the localizer.
Copy, that's okay. When there is my number.
Just don't want to get a false localizer capture. All green.
Checks.
Happy to arm the alarm.
Shamrock 482, direct upcast, and just confirm we are cleared to approach.
Shamrock 482 is found.
Obrigado.
Okay.
Binary, Mike November requesting 30 degrees to the right to avoid.
Binary, Mike November heading approved, stop descent at 5.
That worked out well. We have some small cells at upcast, but where we're traveling is green, mostly green and a little bit of yellow, so we'll stick with this.
May we fly Xida?
Cal 366, direct Xida approved.
Direct Xida, Portugal 366, obrigado.
So I'll take speed 220 knots. Reducing now, flap 1 please.
Speed checks, flaps, 1 blue.
Thanks.
Departure Bombay, Hondelay 3419 up landing, provincial 60 Sida 90.
FLA 3419, bom dia, identified, continue climb to flight level 240.
Landing flight level 240.
The glide's alive and it looks reasonable for this, so within range now, 17 miles. Have an arm approach?
Yep.
So I have glide slope, low blue, capture geo autopilot 1 and 2.
With a little bit of bumping, will we take flap 2 to give us a greater margin?
So speed 190 reducing, flap 2 please.
Speed checks, flaps 2. 2 blue.
Checked.
Please wear Portugal 366, we are maintaining now heading 090 to avoid and then we'll proceed to Xida.
Cal 366 4.
So I'll just give it a couple of knots on the speed and we cover that for that in our landing calculation.
At level 100 on course link.
Cal 088, bom dia, continue as clear.
Let's speed up Portugal 088.
So if it gets bumpy here, we leave the automatics in, okay? We won't disconnect the automatics unless it disconnects itself.
Roger.
Cal 366, continue climb flight level 150.
Continue climb flight level 150, Portugal 366. Portugal 3 clear, weather proceeding now to Exxon.
Cal 3 to run, roger, contact Lisbon.
So do you know what you do? Yep. Select the heading and just go on this inside here, just slightly cut the corner and rearm the approach again. That'll do it there, yeah.
So happy with that?
Yeah.
Cal 366,
so heading green?
Heading green.
Contact Lisbon, control 125, decimal 125, bom dia.
Continue climb flight level 240 and 25125, Portugal 366, bom dia, obrigado.
Ryanair 8, Mike November, turn right, but I expect...
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. You might have to shake the glide path a little bit from above, but just to get in, stay in the green here.
Let's approach runway 21, Ryanair 8, Mike November.
So do you want to go down maybe 200 feet?
200 feet?
Yeah, 3,800 feet, just to keep going down the glide.
Yep.
That's it. Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And Shamrock 482 becoming fully established, runway 21.
Shamrock 482, roger, contact tower 18.1, bom dia.
18.1, Shamrock 482.
Australia 2419, turn left to positive.
That's what it's like.
So if you want to put a higher altitude and do 1,500 feet in.
Maybe we maintain this setting and then get
the
set up again.
Should be able to capture from there.
That's it, very nice, well done.
Glide star there, the vista approach altitude is 7,000 feet. 7,000 blue set.
Well done.
Tower, hello, Shamrock 482, 9 miles, runway 21. Tower 482, bom dia, continue approach runway 21, wind 22 degrees, 18 knots. Continue approach, Shamrock 482.
Keep straight down the runway at 18 knots.
So 7,000 blue for a flight level for the go-round.
That's checked.
And put the igniters back to normal.
Roger. Start bringing back speed to 160 there.
And we've 14 knots, anti-ice is going off.
Checked.
Eighty 9687, wind 230 degrees, 18 knots, runway 21, clear for takeoff. Goodbye.
Clear for takeoff, runway 21, easy 9687, 3 hours.
I'm just going to have a look at the go-around here for any CB activity. It looks clear in the go-around, Emily.
Yep.
Sounds good.
And I'll take the gear down, please.
Gear down.
Speed 160, flap 3.
Speed checks, flap 3 blue.
Speed is managed.
So we're just over the outer marker now, and our altitude is 1600 feet. MDA is 560, we're fully visual.
Checked. And speed 155, flap full, please.
Speed checks, flaps full blue.
And I'll take a landing checklist when you're ready.
The landing checklist says barrel ref.
Is 1001, passing 1480 feet.
Auto thrust.
Speed.
ECAM memo.
Landing, no blue.
Swelling 991 Papa.
Check is complete. 1000 radio, 1000 above, we're stabilized.
Checked. Continue.
South 440, wind 240 degrees, 19 knots, runway 21, clear for takeoff. If I take off on 81, Air Portugal, 440, clear for the.
So Air Portugal is cleared for takeoff, I'm visual with him.
Roger. Disconnected.
Okay.
Cat 1.
Checks. Wind is 25 knots down the runway. Air Portugal is just about to rotate.
Roger.
Shamrock 482, wind 22 degrees, 18 knots, runway 21, clear to land.
Clear land runway 21, the Shamrock 482.
Runway 40 and Alpha,
Great checks.
final runway 21, line up and wait behind.
Traffic control center, we landed behind runway 409 Alpha.
Very nice. Very nice. Ten knots down the runway.
Sorry, behind correcting.
Recon. 22 degrees, 17 knots. Can you approach binary, back on the
Spoilers. Reverse green decel.
Landing numbers.
100 knots. So this is our exit here, Hotel Sierra.
Checked.
And 70 knots. Very nice, well done.
Nice.
Cat now, and we're cleared approach, and we're in. We can get some covers. And you're cleared approach.
Confirm, so we're doing at 22 miles now.
Speed on start.
Checks. Speed on start checks. And then we're full.
Shamrock 482, direct upcast, and just confirm we are cleared approach. There we are. That worked out well. We have some small cells in upcast, but where we're traveling is green, mostly green, and a little bit of yellow, so we'll stick with this. Auto thrust. radio, we're 1,000 above, we're stabilised. Sure, Portugal is clear for takeoff. I've been over him.
Above. Minimum.
Very nice. Knots down the runway.
$50, $40, $30, $20. Retard. Retard. Retard.
Spoilers. Reverse green decel. Here, Hotel Sierra. 70 knots, very nice, well done. Golf 12175, thank you, Sean, for it. So, we're going to proceed on, send this across to this chart here, send Hotel Sierra, it's going to be a 90-degree left onto Golf 2, so it's behind the Air Portugal there and this colourful machine.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to ground and we'll see what happens.
So clear on the left, and this is Golf here, yeah?
From 5, holding point 1.
Hey, we'll continue Quebec, cross 35 at Whiskey, Romeo, Uniform 5 for 21, EG 68 altitude.
Ground, hello, Shamrock 482.
That's EasyJet there.
Shamrock 482, Lisbon ground, bon dia. Give way to traffic at, in front of you, 319, when clear, turn left to Quebec, Whiskey 3, hold short, runway 35 at Whiskey 3.
Okay.
320. I see.
That's us.
482, and is it a cell park? Captain's Park?
Okay, I have control.
Okay, you've control.
Bleed lights, and we already have the fans, thank you.
Give you bleeding lights.
So it says A320, that's us, stand 805.
They're clear right.
So, parking brake is set. You're shut down, Emily.
Okay, so before I do anything, electric pump off.
That's it.
And engine 1. I'll take a parking checklist when you're ready, please.
Checklist says, if you bleed,
Is on.
engines,
Both off.
seatbelts,
Off.
exterior lights,
Nav logo.
fuel pumps,
Off.
parking brake and shocks,
Set. Not sure about shocks.
ATC transponder,
Stunning by 2000.
IRS performance.
It's checked within limits.
The check is complete. It was a beautiful landing in very difficult conditions with all the CB activity around. The wind was coming from all sorts of directions. It was a little bit lumpy, but Emily did exactly what she's trained to do, and she did a very fine job, and we're all very proud of her. Well done, Emily.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, well done.
Cheers.